Good evening, everybody. I'll give it that minute to let people log on. I shared out Richard's YouTube video. By now, a lot of people have read it, that's for sure, or sorry, watched it, viewed it. I've had a few messages back. There's some alarm bells going off, and I think a lot of people either don't quite understand what Richard was throwing down, or Richard just didn't get into enough on political will. Richard does a tremendous volume of presentations. He's phenomenal. He's been inspiration for me. But I want to highlight something from his YouTube video. Unlike Richard and a lot of world academics, they're focused on one area and one area alone. That's their life. That's their passion. They're gifted. They're majorly influenced by all the work they do and the research they do. That's their specialty. That's just one of several things I've had to gravitate to on my journey to build the CCP. And this is as much for Richard as it is for all of you. And I want to highlight one of the main points that Richard hits. He doesn't go into enough detail on this particular video that I'm going to fill in for all of you in just the role of Canada. Everything I do for the CCP, everything I'm doing to get towards the finish line for the 2023 general election, to give Canadians an opportunity in real constitutionalism, is this. There has never, and I repeat, never been a country in the history of all written word big C constitutionalism, in all the years since the United States, through every other country, and even all of the preceding international constitutions, so to speak, rules of governance over the affairs of the world nations of each time period. And there's many that are a lot older than just the United States written word. I've gone through all of it, Richard has too, along with many, many, many other world academics. Canadians, never has an entire nation ever gone through constitutional conventions. Every single human being. That's one thing. One thing to start with that takes us from a place that's fundamentally different than any other nation currently in the world today. Not a one in any constitutionalism has ever gone out and actually done conventions by every man, woman over the age of 18 in their entire nation. Nobody's ever embarked on that. This aggressive platform I'm putting forward, an idea to go forward, is just that. Every man and woman over the age of 18, regardless of how you identify, that is to each their own, every adult over the age of 18 would be included in constitutional conventions. That's number one. No one's ever done that. No one's given the power to the people in that respect in any kind of real democracy, let alone design a written word constitution. Okay? Richard highlights in his great talk, he highlights political will. Unfortunately, when you look at what political will is in the world today, of the 70% of the UN states, I talk about it all the time, full autocrats, civil law, socialists. We even heard from Richard about India. I've already gone through India, and I did the correlation between the powers of Governor General, Lieutenant Governor overriding their court system too. Unfortunately, although India gained independence, the King's Court was never removed. That's inherited of every elected government, which can then take the power over their respective parliament legislatures to, in fact, amend the Constitution as they see fit. And even the written word, if they don't want to follow it, the politician just mandates one of those crown positions, exactly like Canada, taken from Queen Elizabeth and the UK of old, before World War II resolved, before the UN Charter of 1945. They had taken that power in 48 for themselves, the old system that should have been abolished. There are many. Richard goes through and lays out all the states with the most rights for all the people enshrined. But again, he talks about political will. There's no political will. Well, what is political will? There are three forms that can force political will by the people. If we all set about in constitutional conventions, i.e., highlighting three items to force political will, designing how to govern. Number one, here you go, Mr., Miss Politician, man or woman or other. You've been elected to this position. Here is the constitutionally mandated rules of governance, how to govern. There's two there. How to govern and then rules of governance. Meaning you can govern, and this is how you do it, but there are rules inside that written word by you, the people, that you must follow this, and you place the checks and balances in. Now, you can look at the USA Constitution. Richard's right, as are many countries of the world. They're limited, they're old institutions. But when you look at the regions, when you break down the 50 states, and in the federal constitution that delivers a division of powers to the states, you'll find those written words are between anywhere from 250 to nearly 500 pages, depending on the state. The list of amendments is long. The rules of governance, how to govern, and then third, accountability, are there. Now, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, and it's only in a division of power. Imagine for a moment as a builder, not a lawyer, like a founding father of USA, and so many of you who will be the founding fathers and mothers of the new Canada going forward. All of you, millions of you that want to participate, who will have the afforded ability to participate. You will be made to participate at your time and your will. We will make that happen. For every individual over 18, you will get the power to put in the three items of political will, constitutionally mandated, not only federally, as we dismember the Crown autocratic power entirely from the Constitution of Canada, replacing it with we the people. Richard's right. I see 106 human, civil, and federal charter rights that should be given to all of you. Unlike Richard, I deviate because I'm a tradesperson. I've built my whole life. Maybe it's because I'm an economics grad, not a law student. I see things in a different perspective. I respect Richard and all the world academics and what they can deliver. But there are those who engineer things. There's the architects. There's the plumbers who put it all in. There's the welders who weld it out. Everybody has a place. And just as legal professionals, they have a place to bring to you the truth and the explanation. But the vision that comes from only founding fathers, which is what delivered, founding mothers, fathers, those who delivered for the United States when they delivered at that time as best they could, a brand new idea. You want teeth, it requires everybody to participate. Again, you want the political will? Again, there are three ways to get political will. Number one, how to govern. Number two, the rules of governance. I mean, absolutely codified. Number three, absolute accountability for those in charge who've won the election, who hold the political will. Should you not, like in America, put America first, you're going to be held accountable. You can look at the 50 states. Just in the regional analysis, there's absolute accountability. There's why governors don't cross. A lot of things people don't know, but I don't skip these things or narrow my focus. And this isn't me putting anything on Richard or anybody else. It's the fact that there's other avenues here that have never, ever even really been discussed by anybody in any nation, let alone ever participated in by any nation. When I go forward with we the people, I truly mean we the people. Simple speak, simple constitutions for everybody. And when you place, again, those three items that very few like to talk about, rules on how to govern, rules of governance when they're governing, and accountability, when you codify a structured system like that, politicians will do what they have to do. We see it all the time. I see the positives, just as I just witnessed Chancellor Merkel say no to the USA. I'm sorry. And why? Because of the dignity of her people. As Richard highlighted, we just watched Chancellor Merkel say no to President Joe Biden of tremendous superpower and choose Russia over the United States of America because she knew it would hurt her people. It would remove their dignity. It would remove the fundamental clauses inside the Constitution, which when you read that imposed Constitution post World War II, 1945, that the Allies placed upon Germany, transforming Chancellor Merkel's position that she holds now, it was transformed in 45. Hitler's way of utilizing it was gone forever. Now, if we do nothing and we sit there and hope for political will, I think as Canadians, all we're going to wait for is the day a Hitler does rise. There will be a Hitler who will rise. We've already seen enough autocracy in key provinces, and I think Canadians, a lot of Canadians are waking up to the fact that things are not working well in Canada anymore. The world is changing, but Canada isn't. We remain trapped in a time and era that no longer exists today. It requires a massive dismemberment of the Canadian Constitution. Richard highlighted the United States of America, his country, as he holds a key position in a high academic standing for the government of the USA and in the state of Texas. He does. There are nearly 30 million people in Texas, not a slouched position for anybody in the USA, let alone someone like Richard Albert, who came from Canada, who moved on to the United States to continue his great masterful works. Political will is absolutely key. And I say, Canadians, I have a tremendous amount of faith in all of you that when rolled out properly, when the overviews left for you and the greatest minds in the world come forward to give you the greatest education ever presented in the world in the largest, most organized, best constitutional conventions by all the people, you will enshrine and codify what's Big C constitutional, which Canada has very little of. Very little of. Tremendous resources, tremendous wealth, tremendous country where everybody should be vastly more wealthy than they really are. When you look at the population of Canada and the absolute landmass and resources traded on the world stage today, there is no way the people should be in the state they are in. There's no way the costs of astronomical costs of all that you possess today should be that way. It makes no sense whatsoever except for one thing: pure and absolute corruption. We see this from telecommunications to housing, all through the economics. This is because, I'm going to say it again, the political will does not include any of you, the people. It never has in Canada. There are many corrupt countries. Canada is becoming corrupted faster, at a faster rate than anybody else. And only because of the tremendous resources have we been allowed to live and prosper in any kind of real meaningful way as we have. Our society runs soulless. This country has no real soul. We've often heard the political will post-national state. all the UN agendas. Canada signs. When you talk about countries who codify the most rights but don't follow any, Canada has signed the most UN resolutions than any other country in the world. Even when they're not even bound or they've been shot down by the world overseers, the P5, the allies from World War II, Canada pulls them up and signs them anyway. Treaty after treaty, resolution after resolution, and breaches almost all of them, or takes the parts that the political actors from the first class wish to utilize to get their political will and steal it from the people, removing all your soul, all of your security, all of which should be divinity of the people, not divinity of politicians. It should have been supremacy of a God, whichever God you all choose individually. And that doesn't mean stepping on everybody else beside you because your rights are superior to that of others. No, it doesn't. Political will can be harnessed in absolute codification. I believe this, and there has never, ever been any works to date in the entire world history where all the people of the nation crafted and designed the Constitution. There is no example. The most ever utilized, 250 people. In millions of people, I don't think so. CCP is not writing any constitutions. We are giving the power to the people. That's the platform. We have the legal means to do that. An engineered design that will deliver for all of you, the people. Not destroying government, not removing government as it runs in all its systems. It will run on. It's limiting the politicians, absolutely arm-barring every single one in all regions and in Canada with absolutely utilizing the Crown power in a federal minority government. Absolutely, that can be done. That is your Constitution, the absolute power of the Crown, which is your first-class citizens, the politicians. And they've crafted in this very old system, 900 years old, they control the courts, military, police, and all government appointed or elected positions. All of them entirely. Every political party runs that way. This system no longer works in the world today. And all you will ever get when you, the people, don't even exist in the written word is a soulless zombie mass who will be abused by an elite autocracy. And one day, as even China spoke out and said, how is it you can go on, Canada, without amending your system to show the world that your genocide will never happen again? The answer is they can't. As long as the written constitution stays the way it is today, we're only one election away federally from a Nazi Germany to the likes of Adolf Hitler. That could be reality in Canada any day of the week. If you don't believe me, look at First Nations genocide. Read the Indian Act. Read the Constitution of Canada and the powers of the absolute autocracy. This needs to be removed. And if we're going to do that, if we're going to take the crown, let's do something as a beacon of hope that nobody in the entire world has ever seen before, ever experienced, or for all people to do. Every man and woman in all its entirety over the age of 18 sit down for a 3 to 6 month period and work this all out. We can codify all the rights. We can put in rules of governance, how to govern, and absolute accountability. You do that. You take the time in a complete countrywide constitutional convention, and you will draft a masterful document to the likes of which the world's never seen, because nobody in the world's ever done it before. It has always been about the few over the vast many. Let's try something new. Let's give the people the power over the political will. and let's set the stage. Faith over fear. I have more faith in the people than the fear of what could happen. That is the autocracy, the system of autocracy that has never delivered. Never delivered, ever. Autocracy has never, ever delivered, except for the worst human atrocities the world's ever known. That's a fact. Maybe as Canadians, we should try something new. I don't know. A new idea that every citizen over the age of 18 could be put into this system, and it could be done at a cost in Canada of $140 million by the world's greatest experts. Now, there's those who may think this is impossible. I don't think so. And I've already gone on that world stage to find all the experts, and I believe it will happen. Richard Albert, you're an incredible mind, a great man. I enjoy everything you've shared with me, the great adventure you took me on. But this is what the people need of Canada. It's brand new, maybe it is scary, but faith over fear, and let the academics do their magic, and let's get political will by codifying it in constitutionalism. It's never been done that way, ever. Very limited. Very limited. The best examples you can find are the 50 regional state constitutions of the United States of America. Russia has some too, 85 of them. And they put those powers in there. It's worth it. And I'm not saying copy it out, it's an old institution. I'm just saying, if it can be done there and lead to great successes, a new, updated version by all the people of Canada can do it too. There is your political will. Not the political will of the few, the elite, the wealthy. Let's let all the people of the nation decide through monumental education by the best of the best in the world. Thanks, that's my video tonight. Share, share, share. Richard is a tremendous man, and God bless you, Richard. Thank you.